Alright, so it seems like what I and what many fans have wanted is actually maybe coming true. For those that don't know, I made a video in January, or for my YouTube people, I made a video in February talking about, how Tony Romo has deteriorated a little bit and how I honestly want Greg Olsen to be a better replacement for him and me not being alone in that opinion. I basically narrowed it down to Tony Romo's energy just depleted over time, and Greg Olsen has become what Tony used to be. So much had to do with energy and how Greg has basically been better at him nowadays. And it seems as though that scenario might just be coming true. For those of you that don't know, Tony Romo has been in the news quite a lot recently. What did he do? Well, for lack of better word, he was drinking where he wasn't supposed to and he got caught doing it. And so long story short, he got arrested for OWI and now is maybe losing his job. You goofed up, Tony. You goofed up good. And so it's going to be at the number one booth for CBS. It's going to be very, very interesting. So right now they have announced that J.J. Watt, who is the number two analyst behind Tony Romo, is going to be taking his place until everything gets sorted out. But if Romo actually does come back to call games for the season, which let's face it, probably won't happen, then things will probably go back to normal and it'll be like none of this even ever happened. But if Romo doesn't come back, after all this, which seems to be more and more possible within each passing week this is happening, there could be a little bit of a shakeup in the number one booth with Jim Nantz once October rolls around. So to be clear, JJ Watt is going to be with Jim Nantz for weeks 1 and 2, which is going to be September 13th and September 20th. The next game, week 3, September 27th, will be the Ravens and Cowboys, and that's going to be an international game that Jim is going to be at. And that game right there is the biggest question mark about whether or not it's going to be Tony or it's going to be somebody else. And that's where a certain somebody might come in. So Greg Olsen's on the last year of his contract. This is the final year. And he has something on his contract called an opt-out clause. In layman's terms, it just simply means if Greg Olsen got demoted from the number one team, which he did, and is down to the number two team, he can easily leave that network if another major network like ESPN or CBS or NBC wants to give him the top role. The whole Tony Romo deal is supposed to face court September 21st, so that is the deadline to really make a decision out of all this. To me, I think the earliest window for Greg Olsen to join CBS would be week 3 or week 4 of the NFL season. More ideally, week 4, because that's not an international game. But it could not even happen at all. They could like J.J. Watt and just keep him as the number one analyst for at least this season. There's a lot of stuff going on right now between who's gonna be the. There's a lot going on right now with CBS and who's gonna be the number one guy, but with the whole Tony Romo situation going on, it seems like Greg Olsen and J.J. Watt are the two primary roles or people to fill that role, and Greg Olsen is more the prominent choice for people. But you guys gotta let me know what you guys think about it, because this is getting very interesting very quick. Give me Jim and Greg. That would feed families.